Hello once again, race fans. Welcome back to another edition of the Dropping the Hammer Racing Hour on the Grueling Truth, where legends speak. As always, I'm Alex Gray, along here with Michael Klein, and the season's officially underway. Thank goodness. We have waited all winter long, and I'm pretty sure you were able to enjoy some of the nice weather that Florida had to bring and some of the weather that Florida brings that isn't too good. But obviously you were down in Daytona, and we just got through Speedweek, and we're back at Daytona this weekend for the road course. But we can kick things off. Obviously, how was your time down in Daytona?
It was good. You know, I kind of wish the rain would have held off for this week so we could have at least gotten a rain race. But, you know, I guess everything that happened on that day kind of set up for that incredible finish we got.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still in shock. Michael Mcdowell won the Daytona 500.
Yeah, me too. You know, your brother and I were watching. We just couldn't believe it. We were trying not to wake your parents up because we were just like, oh, my God. But, wow, that was absolutely beautiful. What's funny is, I know I hate to bring this one up, 2001, first career win for Michael Waltrip. 2011, first career win for Trevor Bayne. 2021, first career win for Michael McDowell. So is a rookie going to win?
2031, Keelan Harvick.
Keelan Harvick, yes. That's exactly what happened. Oh, man. It's ironic, too, because I was sitting there going, I wonder if we're going to get a first-time winner. And obviously looking back at the 500, I know people were like, that was probably one of the worst ever. Of course, that race was very hyped up, but the problem was when that wreck happened on lap 14, that practically changed the entire outlook of the race. And
yeah, I mean, there were so many contenders taken out in that one incident.
Yeah. And with there being fewer cars, you know, they were running single file. It was very difficult to form a second line on the inside.
Yeah, and especially when you consider after a wreck like that, everyone's trying to be more careful. I mean, so no one's willing to make that move and get the pass done, like, or even attempt it, you know, until the very last moment.
Yeah, I was fearing there were going to be like 7 cars that would have finished the race, but you know, we didn't really get that major wreck again until like the very last lap, which again was a rather scary wreck. But I was more thankful at the fact that everyone just simply walked out A-OK.
Yeah, I mean, seeing Brad being able to be frustrated at it like that, you know, that was definitely good to see, especially after last year. You know, he certainly didn't want anything like that to happen again.
Yeah. And, you know,
it's like,
good.
And, you know, I remember watching on the TV screens and seeing Joey just get turned around, and at that point I just look up in turn 3, and then huge fireball, and I see Brad go up into the catch fence. I mean, that was pretty scary, honestly.
Yeah, his entire rear end pretty much just disintegrated on his car, which I'm pretty sure that fireball was from his fuel cell as a result. I know Austin Cindric had a really hard hit, and he ran really well for his very first Cup race. And and then, of course, the timing of caution had McDowell as the leader, Chase Elliott second, and Austin Dillon in third. Man, and that's what's really cool when you get stories like that, because every driver has a story, and even you, of course, because you're a driver. And with a team like Front Row Motorsports, they've only won a couple races. They've been racing since the mid-2000s. They've come a long way. They got their first win in 2013 with David Reagan at Talladega, and then 2016 that Weather held a race for Chris Buescher, and then the last lap wreck with McDowell. And obviously the biggest win, not just for him, but for that entire Front Row Motorsports team as well.
Yeah, you know, I was really happy to see them put that car in victory lane, not just for McDowell, but for the whole team. I mean, these small guys, it's just so hard to be able to really, you know, put yourself out there and show, hey, we can come out and do this.
Absolutely.
Well, teams to keep doing that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the Front Row Motorsports team, they always are dual threat at super speedways. Every now and then you see a 34, 38 car up there. They're ready to compete. You know, I can remember several different instances. Obviously, David Gilliland, David Reagan worked very well back then. Heck, David Gilliland, I think, finished third in the 2011 Daytona 500. And Reagan, of course, he won his other race with Roush at Daytona that summer in 2011. That was with Roush. But, they're always a dual threat at those tracks. And, by the way, I do know McDowell did win that one Xfinity road course race. He is a bit of a road racer, and we're at the Daytona road course. He's going to be starting up front, so who knows?
He's going to finish second. Chase Elliott's starting on the pole. He's going to run away with it.
Chase is definitely going to be the one to watch. He's basically today's version of Jeff Gordon on road courses. That's just how dominant he's become.
Yeah, I mean, I think he correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he's either tied or surpassed Gordon's record for consecutive road course wins. What's he at now, 4 or 5?
Something like that. I'm trying to think here because he won Watkins Glen in 18. I'm trying to remember who won Sonoma in 19.
That was Truex.
That was Truex? Okay, so let's see.
Yeah,
Elliott won Watkins Glen in 19, and then he won the Roval. And then, of course, 2020, we didn't go to Watkins Glen or Sonoma. We went to the road course at Daytona. He won that race. He did win the Roval that time, too.
So that's 4?
Yeah, because I don't remember any other road course races.
Yeah, I think that ties Gordon's. I think Gordon had 4 in a row.
Okay. So he's going to try and go for the record here this coming Sunday. So we'll have to see if Chase can get it done.
Yeah. Unless, of course, you count, the Clash, where technically it would have been broken, but, hey, it's not a points race.
Yeah. And what an insane finish that was, coming down to the wire between two good friends, Elliott and Blaney, and Kyle Busch, of course, coming up from out of nowhere to steal the win.
Yeah, I was sitting right in front of when that happened. That was pretty wild to see.
Oh, I can imagine. I love the broadcast. I mean, I can already say this right now. Quentin Boyer being added to the Fox booth is one of the most genius things ever. Absolutely love it. He and Jeff Gordon are absolutely hilarious because I'm like, and they're best friends. Not anymore, or at least not tonight. So, oh my God, those two absolutely hilarious, and I'm looking forward to hearing those two continue to commentate for Fox first half of this season.
Yeah, this is going to be my first time actually getting to watch him commentate. I was in the stands all last week, so.
That's true. Let's see here. So we're talking about the Clash, and obviously the truck race. Louisville, Kentucky's Ben Rhodes getting it done on what was an insane last lap. Corey Roper looked like he was about to turn the world upside down and steal this win. And then Ben Rhodes made the big move to win. Jordan Anderson almost, again, finishing second for the second year in a row. But for guys like Roper and Anderson, even to finish second and third is special for them. It feels almost like a win.
Yeah, and you could even tell that in Jordan Anderson's interview. I mean, he had every right to be upset about that because that's 2 years in a row he's come less than half a truck length away from victory. But,
right.
Being a small team, you're just happy to be there. And when you can go out there and show that you're capable of winning like that, that is like a win to you.
Exactly. And obviously Anderson's interview was just absolutely beautiful and just encouraging people to not give up and chase their dreams because Jordan just kind of put everything that he had into this effort. He was in danger of shutting his team down on a couple of occasions. And then I remember, when I talked to him back in 2018 at Kentucky, it was still his pickup truck and a little hauler just jumping out of his truck, smiling, "How's it going, man?" And now just seeing him, now his team's really making it. And, of course, now he's got an Xfinity team, which unfortunately, because Xfinity qualifying did rain out, Anderson will not be running Xfinity races for a little bit, which almost makes you want to say, please bring back qualifying now. There's going to be a lot more teams that want to race, and they're not going to be able to.
Yes, either bring back qualifying or let them all race. I mean, What's going to happen? You get 43 cars. We worked with 43 cars for a while, never had any issues with it. Just let them all race. Come on.
Yeah, and, I was hoping maybe for the 500 we get a 42-car field. Maybe we would have seen guys like Ty Dillon or Gregson or Smithley or Hill get in, of course. But I don't know. For me, I just kind of missed the 42, 43-car fields. I think they said for trucks and Xfinity they were going to, I'm trying to remember what it was. They said that non-qualifying races, they were going to have like 40-car fields. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, I think it was something like that.
Okay. Just making sure. And so moving on from the truck race, and then we were going to dive into Xfinity. Austin Cindric getting that win. And then, of course, that was a doubleheader because the ARCA race ran earlier that day. Shout out to Jamie Little, by the way. She did an excellent job. Of course, I know you were at the race, so you probably didn't hear her, but I thought she did a really good job calling the race, the first female to call a NASCAR race, which is absolutely incredible.
No, I had no doubt she would do good. I mean, yeah, this is her first time as a play-by-play announcer, but she's been in the sport for years now, and I've always enjoyed hearing her commentary.
Same, absolutely. Let's see. Corey Heim won the ARCA race. A lot of stories from that race alone, especially a man that we're looking to get on here pretty soon. His name is, I hope I pronounced his last name right, it's Andy Jankowiak. He is from the Northeast. The story behind him was that he actually put all of his pizza delivery tip money, he's a pizza delivery driver, on the side. He actually saved up all of his tip money to race in Daytona. And he got a 9th place finish out of it, which is an absolutely incredible story. So we're hoping we can get him on soon. Just a guy we'd love to have on and talk to about his experiences.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that story when I was sitting at the Cruisin' Cafe in Daytona, but we're going to have to get into that here in a second because that place was awesome. But, yeah, just having a guy who's willing to, do all this just to live his dream, and I can definitely identify with that because, I work at Menards. I've taken a bunch of extra hours just so I could have extra money to go racing, and, it's so tough for the small guys to get out here and do that. So when you see guys like that having success, it's awesome to see.
It really is, and that's what's always exciting about Daytona or Talladega, and I always think that a lot of people want to see, the little guy win because that's sometimes their best shot at doing so, and it creates a good story, We've seen instances in the past, we saw 10 years ago, Trevor Bayne, 20 years old, win the Daytona 500 for the Wood Brothers. We've seen, Matt DiBenedetto finishing 5th at Bristol for BK Racing. We've seen Chris Buescher's win at Pocono, Justin Haley winning at Daytona for Spire Motorsports. There's always, as I said earlier, every driver has a story, and every car is a driver, and every driver has a story, and I always love listening to, all these drivers that have come from different paths, whether it's a guy like Chase Elliott who's come from a family background or, a guy like Michael McDowell just trying to, make it. For the longest time, he was always remembered for that qualifying crash at Texas. And then, once upon a time, I think he qualified a start and park car 5th at Bristol. I think that was like 2009, 2010. That was Phil Parsons' team at the time. And now here he is driving the Love's Travel Stop board. And congrats to Love's Travel Stop, man. Their car got into victory lane at Daytona. That's a huge deal for them. They've been in the sport for quite a while, and McDowell is now a Daytona 500 winner.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's one of the reasons I mainly stopped at Love's on my way back.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that and all the pilots I went to were kind of trashy, so. Yeah, in fact, I don't know what the deal was, but coming back, as soon as I entered Southern Kentucky, every gas station down there was shut down.
Really? Was it because of the weather?
I have no idea. It was either the pin machines didn't work, so you had to go in and do it, and there was always a really long line, so I figured, no, I'm not doing this. Or they were just shut off completely.
Jeez. So I just got this popped up on my phone. We got an Adam Sternbaum. He announced that Dale Jr. has joined the Music City Grand Prix ownership group and will help promote the August event.
Wow.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
But I definitely like that. We'll get to some news here in a little bit, including Michael Waltrip. He's going to be running in the SRX this season. So, besides that, let's see. Any experiences you wanted to talk about from Daytona?
There's one I'd like to, but it's probably best I keep silent. So.
Understood. Well, you were going to say something?
Yeah. Actually, just to go back into what I was saying earlier, just kind of giving them a free shout out here. There's this place on the beach called Cruisin' Cafe. Okay.
Okay.
You can't miss it. There's a giant late model over the entrance.
Nice.
I figure, I've seen this place a couple times, but I've never actually gone in, because when I go there, I usually go to Racing's North Turn.
Mm-hmm.
Which that place is really good, too. If you're down in Daytona Beach, definitely try that place out. It's right on the where the North Turn was for the beach course. So,
okay.
Definitely a place to go check out. But anyway, so this is my second day on the beach. I've just gotten out of the ocean. First time actually swimming while I'm down there, too.
Nice.
Yeah. Actually, took time to have fun on the beach this year. So then I go to this place called the Cruisin' Cafe. I walk in. Oh, my God, this place was just a huge nostalgia boom for 90s NASCAR fans. I mean,
really?
You really have tables there where they wrap the sheet metal around it, so it's like you're sitting in the car.
Huh. That's awesome.
Yeah. The whole place is just decked out with sheet metal on the walls. Some of the TVs are surrounded by, full car sides. Food's honestly pretty good, too. I got the wings, and I thought they were really good. So I think the cars they had were Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt, Dick Trickle, Dale Jarrett, and Robert Presley.
Okay.
I definitely would have sat in the Earnhardt one. It was already taken, though, so that kind of sucked. The end, I just ended up sitting in Dick Trickle's car, enjoying some wings.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's definitely someplace I'm going to have to hit up every time I go down there now.
Definitely. And, obviously I'm going to do my best to get down there next February because I'd like to see the debut of the next-gen car. So if I do go down there, that's a place I'll certainly check out.
Yeah. Yeah, you come down there with me. We'll hit up Racing's North Turn and the Cruisin' Cafe.
Absolutely. Let's see. What was?
And actually, just something else I wanted to bring up too. First time being down there, I decided to stop by the Motorsports Hall of Fame of America, formerly known as Daytona, USA. Never been there since I was 8, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So I figured this would be cool. The place is just incredible. I mean, they've got cars from every series. I mean, I don't think I've ever been in a place that has that much racing history in one room. I mean, and of course, that's where they put the Daytona 500 winning car.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, that's where Mcdowell's is.
Awesome.
Yeah. Honestly, that kind of sucks for that team because, I don't think they have as many cars as some of these others, and now they have to have that one at Daytona USA for a year. So.
Oh, yeah, because that reminds me when Justin Haley won the Coke 0400 a couple years ago with Spire, I think they put the car up as well for whoever wins that race. They couldn't put the Spire car on there because Spire only had like 3 cars, so they didn't have much to work with.
Right.
So that sucks, but obviously still, again, your name's now etched in the history books forever. You won not only a Daytona, but you won the Daytona 500.
Yeah. Well, I guess with the money they got, they can just put together a new car.
Oh, absolutely. They got a huge paycheck from that race.
Yeah.
So, and obviously, of course, that puts them in the playoffs.
Yeah, provided he can stay in the top 30. I did realize that. That may be the hard part, because you got to remember, Chris Buescher won that race, and he struggled to get it into the top 30.
Mm-hmm.
But with all the road courses we have now, I think he can definitely do it.
Oh, certainly. He could be a dual threat. He can keep his car up there and put some good runs in. So I think Michael McDowell is fully capable of keeping that car top 30.
Yep.
So how about this? Let's talk about our boy Ryan Vargas and the deal he has with Alvin Kamara, the running dude. Yeah, so what happened was Vargas said shortly after Daytona was over, he said, hey, I don't have a sponsor, hoping to get something. Alvin Kamara's like, hey, can I help you out? And so what ends up happening is that his company called the Big Squeezy is going to be sponsoring him this weekend. And absolutely huge news. He literally, one of my friends literally said, this dude actually got a sponsor deal done in 2 days. So what a legend. And obviously a huge deal. I know Alvin Kamara's been getting big into NASCAR, and just to have his company being sponsored on a stock car, especially for a guy like Vargas, it's a huge deal for both of them.
Yeah, and huge shout out to Ryan Vargas for making me blow up on Saturday. That video of him getting out of the grass.
Oh, that's right. And everyone was like cheering when he got out. That was amazing.
Yeah. Currently sitting at 30,000 views.
That's awesome.
Yeah. He's been using it in all his promo stuff too, and giving me credit. So, yeah, that's been pretty cool.
Absolutely.
And
of course, so much is going on for NASCAR lately. Obviously, it looks like, speaking of McDowell, I see Bob Pockris posted this. He landed a primary sponsorship deal with his Daytona 500 win. 4-race deal with CarParts.com, and full season associate is an increase after 6 races.
Nice.
So good deal for McDowell. Glad to see he got some sponsorship there. Now lots been happening for NASCAR. Obviously, really good debut for 2311 Racing. Bubba Wallace ran really well most of the race. He and Hamlin really hooked up well. Of course, Bubba had that pit road penalty late. I thought Trackhouse looked pretty decent. Of course,
was it a penalty?
Didn't Bubba get a pit road penalty or something?
I heard he had a vibration.
Oh, that's what it was. My bad. Okay. Yeah, you're right. It was a vibration.
Yeah.
So, vibration on his part, but still, very impressive run. Trackhouse looked faster in Speedweeks. Of course, unfortunately, they got taken out in that wreck, but still, it seems to me Justin Marks and Pitbull have some big plans for that team, and they work really well together. And not only that, looks like Daniel Suarez might have yet another sponsor lined up with Camping World.
I noticed that yesterday.
Yeah, so let's see here. iFly, Pump It Up, K1 Speed, Camping World, ComScope. Pretty good sponsor lineup for that team. And obviously Pitbull given the command to fire the engines in a very cool and unique way.
That was epic.
Yeah, I loved it too. And one of the pictures I loved from Trackhouse, I think they might have posted it the other day, was Pitbull putting up the 3 fingers during the lap 3 salute to Dale Earnhardt, what was that like, by the way? Because I thought that was a really touching thing, and I really love when NASCAR does that.
That was incredible just to be a part of. I mean, Earnhardt's one of those guys who I've always looked up to. And so just being able to be a part of a moment like that was really awesome, just be a part of.
Oh, absolutely. And obviously today's February 19th. Yesterday marked the 20th anniversary of when we lost Dale Earnhardt in the 2001 Daytona 500. Dale Earnhardt.
That's also when the Dale Earnhardt Funko Pop released.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Well, bad timing on the release date, but
yeah, somebody got fired over that.
Yeah, possibly. But you look back on Dale Earnhardt's legacy and, the impact that he left behind, even if during that time, even if you didn't watch NASCAR that much or only knew very little. You knew who Dale Earnhardt was. Just from there's always those guys right off the bat. You think Dale Earnhardt, Richard Petty, Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Tony Stewart, some of those guys. And, we always remember for the accomplishments he made, and he was practically Superman to a lot of people. I was talking to somebody at work the other night, and he had a buddy who was a huge Dale Earnhardt fan back then, and he actually told me he was, absolutely saddened for months after Earnhardt had died. But with Earnhardt, he also left a massive impact long, long, long after his death. His crash, pretty much the result of that was NASCAR ending up putting in so many safety enhancements, from the Hans device to the safety barrier, the car of tomorrow, the Gen 6 car, and all these safety improvements that NASCAR has tried to do, and we have not had a fatal crash in any of the top 3 circuits since that very day. And hopefully it will remain that way as well. So Dale Earnhardt helped save a lot of lives, and he was a hero during his racing days, and he's still a hero to this day and always will be.
Absolutely. I mean, he's still one of those drivers who I've always looked up to, both as a fan and as a fellow driver. I mean, so much of what he taught, I still live by to this day.
Yeah. And obviously, when I was a kid and I learned so much about him, that's kind of how I became a Dale Jr. fan, because I just wanted to see his son do well. And even still, Jr. had a fantastic career. And, man, I wish I had something else to say, but I think I pretty much said everything I had to say with Earnhardt.
I just saw this video posted saying, Dale Earnhardt confirmed weeb. I'm sure you can guess who posted that.
Ah, yes, our good friend.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, and by the way, he does a fantastic job with art. He makes anime adaptations of paint schemes. He draws them out. He actually he's drawn out anime avatars of drivers. I think Ryan Reed actually made it his avatar, his profile pic at one point.
Yeah, dude, Jet Noland actually saw what he did, and now he's sending him a bunch of merch.
That's awesome. I love stuff like that.
Yeah. It's I know he feels like not a lot of people enjoy his stuff, but everything I've seen, every negative thing I've seen has been some sort of keyboard warrior who hides behind some rendering thumbnail. I mean, who's literally just doing it to start shit. I mean, literally everyone who I've seen in racing enjoys it. So, Motorsport Fan 17, you keep doing this, man. I mean, we all love it.
Amen. Keep doing it, buddy. And obviously, lately, a lot of teams and drivers have been seeing it and loving it, and I think it's pretty awesome. I think it's awesome that there's so many different fans now from all sorts of different likes, like anime fans and whatever else. It just goes back to my belief that NASCAR is for everyone and anyone. So,
yeah. And just going into that, I do have to say this. Being at Daytona was probably the first time I've been to a race, since civil rights movement started, from Bubba Wallace that we've seen.
Yeah.
And especially with the movement from NASCAR. And you can tell just by going to that, it's working. I mean,
yeah.
I've never been to a NASCAR race where there's been a more diverse crowd. I mean,
yeah, and
Bubba Wallace is doing great things for the sport. He's bringing about several great new fans.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think we're going to see a resurgence in NASCAR here.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm projecting we're going to have I guess you can say a roaring 20s for NASCAR. So I know people always oh man, I miss the days of the 90s and 2000s. Well, we could be getting back to that. may or may not be on that same scale because things were so much different back then. But still, you look at Bubba Wallace, you look at Daniel Suarez, you look at, and especially guys like Pitbull and Michael Jordan. I mean, obviously, we grew up listening to Pitbull's music. We know everybody knows who Michael Jordan is. They're going to bring in a ton of fans. Of course, just came out on Netflix, Kevin James's new sitcom, The Crew. That may possibly bring in new fans. I've watched the whole series.
I did want to mention that I just finished it yesterday.
Okay, so we've both seen it all.
Yeah, I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I thought so too. I thought there were some pretty funny snippets in there, and obviously it's cool seeing how the fake steak thing came to be because last year they actually ran a couple races with Spire to get some footage of that car. So overall, yeah, I thought it was a pretty decent show, and if they want to make a second season, I'm all in.
Absolutely, dude. The way it ended, we need a second season.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of left a few cliffhangers, and the guy who played Chuck is absolutely hilarious. Like, he is funny as crap. The guy who played Jake Martin, the driver, too, he's pretty funny as well. But what I also find intriguing is the story behind it. Because obviously it's a sitcom, it's a comedy show, but there's also a really good story behind it because it shows how times are changing. That Bobby Spencer Racing has been, kind of just, we'll do it, we'll be all right, but now it's kind of like his daughter wants to come in and make these changes because, bringing in fake steak because of the younger audience and just kind of adjusting to change because, things are a lot different now than they were 10 years ago. So I always found that different, and how Catherine, that's the character's name, she warns Kevin in like the second to last episode, if things keep being ran the way Dad has, this team's going to go by the wayside. It's all about adjusting to changes and getting with the times, and it's just, I always found that kind of intriguing.
Yeah, and I also like how accurate it is, to what is really going on in NASCAR now. I mean, they bring up the charter system, the playoff system. You have actual history being brought up, the real race footage. I mean, I've not seen that in any other series like that.
Yeah, and I feel like, what was I going to say? Yeah, I don't think we've really seen much of that, and I even felt like I can go back to, you bring that up, and that just made me think I can go back to 2017 when Cars 3 came out, and it was kind of the same way. You're seeing all these cars starting to retire for these new racers. That basically what started happening then. Jeff Gordon retired. Tony Stewart retired. Dale Jr. was on the way out. Now Johnson's out. Edwards, Biffle, Kenseth. All these guys we grew up watching. Now we're seeing Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, Bubba Wallace, Tyler Reddick, Chase Briscoe, Daniel Suarez, Haley Deegan. All these drivers come up, and they're going to represent NASCAR for the next at least 10, 15 years.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've been seeing that more with NASCAR in the media lately, with it trying to be more accurate to what is actually happening within the sport lately, and that's such a great thing, I think, because it's helping introduce people, to the sport. So, or it shows that they're at least trying to do that, because not only are you putting it on the pedestal here as the main plot, but you're also showing how it works, where it came from, and that's a really important part of bringing new fans in.
Right, and again, the problem is for the longest time, NASCAR has been plagued with a stereotype of, it's only for people from the South, bunch of rednecks, and the whole, because I love Jeff Dunham, and I always remember, because I've gotten this joke to me, thrown at me several times, they're making a left turn! They're making another left turn! I mean, it's funny, but, when you sit down and watch a race, you'll understand that it's way more than just left turn, and that now NASCAR is like, hey, we're not just a bunch of crazy rednecks, NASCAR's for everybody. It's welcoming for anyone. That's what I love about NASCAR, and how I think they've handled everything from COVID to the whole Bubba Walsing, they've handled everything absolutely fantastic, and I give big praise to NASCAR for just all the different things they've done to make it more welcoming to fans. They've done an incredible job.
Exactly. Yeah, I remember that skit. I've had people remind me of that at work all the time, and they hear that I race. They go, "They're making a left turn."
Yep, every time, man. I'm just like, oh boy. I can't help but laugh, but every now and then it's like, oh, come on, there's more to it. So,
yeah,
I don't know. I'm really excited.
I mean, they're being funny. They're just trying to be funny. It's not meant to be taken seriously.
Pretty much. So, besides that, I mean, I'm really excited for this season. Obviously, this weekend, we got the Daytona Road Course coming up because originally it was going to be Homestead, then Auto Club, but Auto Club or California is still basically under COVID lockdown, so they pretty much weren't going to allow a race at Auto Club, so they will run back there again next year. That being said, we got some road course action. We got the trucks tonight. We got Xfinity on Saturday, and we got Cup on Sunday. You want to go ahead and dive into picks?
Sure.
All right. Who are we liking for the truck race tonight?
Truck race with the road courses and his experience there, kind of got to go with Sheldon Creed. I mean, he won here last year. We know that he's really good on the road courses, you know, growing up super truck racing. So definitely hard to go against him. But it may rain from what I saw, so who knows what that'll do.
And luckily, we won't have to worry about stopping the race because we can run on the road course with the rain tires.
Why couldn't we get that rain last week this week? Come on.
Yeah, I know,
seriously.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, dude. At least the race got in, though. That was the good thing. It got in. So I didn't care how laid up I was. I was just like, yeah, we're gonna get the entire finish. That's what we needed. So, yeah, for the road course of trucks, I'm definitely with you. I will go with Creed just because, you know, he's definitely going to be a favorite. He won on that track last year. So I'm definitely liking his chances there. Moving on to Xfinity, obviously, Austin Cindric, you got to start with him.
Yeah.
He's, like I said, it wouldn't surprise me if he wins 10 races this season. I think he's going to be very dominant. So definitely got to go with him. If I'm correct, Andy Lally going to run in this race?
I believe so, with B.J. McLeod.
Yeah. You never know. He could be a dark horse. He ran pretty well here. I think he was the Daytona Road Course race that he got like a top 5, top 10 in, or at least ran in the top 5. So he could be a dual threat.
Yeah. Do we really even need to go in the Cup? I mean, I think we all know who we're going to pick.
Yeah, Chase Elliott. Obviously, Chase Elliott's going to lead the field to the green there, and he's looking to. I think we discussed this earlier, right before we started talking. Chase Elliott has won the last 4 points-paying road course races. That ties Jeff Gordon for the most in a row. So,
no, actually, I looked it up right after that, and we were talking, so I didn't really bring it up. Gordon's record is actually 6.
Oh, okay.
He's got a couple more to go.
All right. Well, Chase has some work to do, but he's definitely going to be a favorite. Just judging from the clash, some other favorites could be Denny Hamlin, possibly Kyle Busch or Ryan Blaney, but yeah, Chase Elliott definitely looking the favorite. So we're thinking Creed, Cindric, and Elliott this weekend. We'll see how it goes.
Yep. All you can do, man. I mean.
Yeah, absolutely. Was there anything else you wanted to bring up or talk about at all?
Actually, yeah, something I'm just curious about here. Maybe we have to put a poll out for this, you know, on Twitter. Mm-hmm. I was watching a video yesterday, and these guys started arguing. This is on Rooster Teeth's website.
Oh, boy. All right.
Yeah. So, Red Lobster Cheddar Biscuits or Olive Garden breadsticks?
What was the first one?
Red Lobster Cheddar Biscuits.
Wow, I haven't had those in a long time. Oh, that's a tough one. because those are pretty good, but the breadsticks at Olive Garden are good too. Although if you want to bring in breadsticks, I have to throw in Fazoli's. They have good breadsticks too. I know you don't like Fazoli's, but I've always liked their breadsticks.
I mean, I like the breadsticks. I could literally just go there and just have the breadsticks.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, so that's an interesting one. When I put this up on YouTube later, comment down below. Do you prefer Red Lobster cheddar biscuits, or do you prefer Olive Garden breadsticks?
Yeah. Something they should have thrown in there is Cheddar's honey biscuit croissant. Or honey butter croissant.
Okay. I definitely need to go to Cheddar's at some point because they got that Tyler Reddick special or whatever.
Yes. And honestly, the chicken tenders there are just incredible.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what the number 8 special is. You know, the chicken tender platter.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yes, I did see that all the drivers were leaving and going to restaurants or whatever. I thought about doing that, but you know what? As a driver, I'm sure everyone knows this, us drivers are really, really superstitious. Every time I leave the track during a rain delay, I never end up coming back because it gets rained out while I'm gone. So I was like, nope, I am staying right here because I want to get this race in tonight.
Well, I don't blame you for that reason, man.
And we got it in. So
it worked.
Yeah.
There you go.
And this is just something I noticed, too, leaving the track. It seems like whenever Brad Keselowski wrecks, when we're at the track, it is huge.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm trying to think here. So we were in the stands back in 13 at Kentucky, I think.
Yep.
When he got spun by Kurt Busch and completely ass-packed by Greg Biffle. We were at the Brickyard when he went up on his side.
Oh, yeah. Remember that.
Yeah. And then he gets set up into the fence at Daytona.
Jeez. Okay, that's interesting. But yeah, of course, you know, who knows? Maybe Panda Express may hop on Chase Briscoe's car for some races, huh?
Yeah.
I love that too because Ross Chastain got McDonald's for his crew. I would love to be the guy at the window, be like, I would just jokingly say, "Should you be at the track?" But no, I would be like, "Oh my God, Ross Chastain, how you doing, man?"
Yeah. And you had Reddick going over to Cheddar's. And
yeah,
right. I mean, I didn't think he'd get back in that race. I mean, he was driving with a modified, and he made it the whole distance.
Yeah, I was really impressed by that.
I mean, I guess he didn't have to worry about overheating because, you know, you had all the air in the world getting to that engine.
Yeah, exactly. So with that, I think that'll pretty much wrap things up here.
Yeah, I think that's about it.
All right. Well, that'll wrap things up here, and we head to the Daytona Road Course this weekend, and the season's officially underway. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, as always, to the Dropping the Hammer Racing Hour here on the Grueling Truth, where legends speak. From Michael Klein and myself, Alex Gray, signing off, and we'll see you next time.